Hi, everybody. Queen Crystal King in the building. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another sporadic episode of Dear Crystal. This pretty much is an episode where I'm talking about what actually happened to me, myself, and I this week. Tuesday, I was trying to get myself together to make one of my doctor's appointments, and uh, ahead of time, I'm going to let you guys know I'm a little hoarse. Um, Sometimes the drivers will pull off, even if you see them, even if you describe what you're wearing, you describe their car, you describe their license plate, they still find a reason to pull off. Well, this particular instance, um, they came a little earlier than I expected. So I was trying to move a little faster so I wouldn't miss my ride. And the gentleman said that he would wait for me, which is good. And sometimes when they say that, they still don't wait. So I was hurrying up, trying to get down there so I wouldn't miss the ride. The appointment was very important. So when I got downstairs, I believe that I have mentioned, if I haven't mentioned, uh, that I use a rolling walker since I had the surgery in my stomach. It gives me a little bit more balance because sometimes I kind of tip to the left or to the right. My equilibrium is a little off since the surgery, but I can still use a cane sometimes. But the majority of the time, I use my walker, my rolling walker. So I'm coming outside. I'm moving rather quickly, but I couldn't remember if the car I was looking for was a light color car or a dark color car. So it was two cars out front. So I started moving a little faster because both cars started moving. Well, I fell. I fell pretty hard. Actually, I fell on both of my knees. I hit the ground, and all I could think to do was to squeeze the handlebars on my walker and just hold them. One lady got out of a car, and then a guy got out of a car, and I recognized his voice as my driver. And they asked me, was I okay? And all I could think to say was, yeah, I just fell. They didn't try to help me up. They asked me, could I get up? So very slowly, I was able to get up off the ground, but my knees were ringing, like hurting, ringing. And I would squeeze my eyes shut, open, just trying to get my bearings because the pain that had shot through me was tremendous. So I got in the back of the car and I was on my way to the actual center where I get my treatment to see my pain management doctor. There are pain management doctors that work with specific things, and this particular pain management doctor works with specific pain that has to do with cancer. Now, mind you, I just fell. I'm hurting. And the driver is trying to make small talk with me. I'm trying not to be evil with him. And I just want to get to the doctor. I get inside the doctor. I had never been to that doctor in person before. So they gave me the wrong directions. So I was sitting in an office waiting area for 20 minutes in the wrong location. So I stand up and I ease over to the counter and I ask the lady, could she please help me? And there's a kiosk, where you just touch the screen and you give them the information that you need to give them in order to register. For some odd reason, it just seemed like the hardest thing for me to do at that time. But mind you, I didn't bump my head. I wasn't unconscious or anything. I was just in a lot of pain. So I asked the nurse, could she please help me? Well, what she said was, all you have to do is XYZ. It's really very simple. And I looked at her like, if heat vision could just melt this lady, I would have melted her with my heat vision. And I said, if it was all that simple, why would I be asking you? I'm asking you for help because I fell just before I got here. I'm in a lot of pain. Could you please help me? I don't know how much more humility I could find in that sentence. And again, she says to me, all you have to do, now she's getting loud. And that's one of my pet peeves. I don't like it when people get loud on me when I'm asking you something in private. I don't like it when you talk loud so other people can turn around and look at me. You draw attention to me, and that's not what I wanted. So again, she says, it's really very simple. I said, again, if it was all that simple, why would I ask your ignorant ass? I've never been here before. I fell before I got here. Could you please help me? Come to find out, I was in the wrong location. Hello, love. I was in the wrong location. Wrong doctor completely. And I'm walking away from the counter and she's still looking at me saying, all you have to do is push this button. I said, you know what? You need to treat people better. You do. You need to treat people better. Then I caught myself. Chrystal, it's not her fault. It's not her fault. You don't have time to call her manager and her manager and her manager how you would normally do it. You've got an appointment to make. Plus, you are in a lot of pain. So I make my way over to the elevator. They send me to another location, which is the right floor, but it is on the wrong side. So that's another 20 minutes that I'm wasting, and my knees are throbbing. I went up to the counter and I said, please, I'm trying to get a hold of Dr. XYZ. I talked about the wrong location, talked about where they sent me here, Then the lady says to me, receptionist, and I'm not going to devalue what she does because what she does is very important. The receptionist says, well, the doctor said that you had an appointment at this time, and because you're really late, he's not going to be able to take you. So we're going to have to schedule you for another appointment. I said, I'm not leaving. She looked at me like, excuse me? I said, I'm not leaving. I fell before I got here. I was sent to two wrong locations. I'm in a lot of pain. This is my pain management doctor. I need to see him today. I need to see him now. If I leave this waiting room, I'm going to the ER. I'm not going back home. Then I just bust out crying. I couldn't take it anymore. I was trying to hold in all of this pain, this anxiety, not knowing whether I broke something. I have a port in my neck, and the way I went to catch myself when I fell, I really felt the pain like in my neck, and I had hoped that I did not injure myself there because that's something that has to be immediately fixed because the port is connected to the jugular vein, and that's where I get my medication and where they draw my blood. So that's something that would have had to been taken care of right away, but I wasn't bleeding or anything. So that kind of gave me a little indication to myself that it wasn't that serious. By the time I get to the back, the doctor says, oh, yeah, I remember her because we did our appointments through the telephone where it's like a duo, but it's doctor's appointment. And all I could do was cry, shake and cry, shake and cry. And he's like, her eyes look like they're almost, look at her eyes. What is wrong? What happened to her? So I'm speaking as best I can, explaining as best I can. My blood pressure is through the roof. He examines my knees. My knees are all scuffed up. My knuckle is swollen. I guess from where I was trying to, whatever I was trying to do, my main thing was I was just trying to save myself. Um, I was able to get what I needed from the doctor. I told him I had been under a lot of stress, which I have been. Um, Family issues that had me under a lot of stress. I couldn't miss this appointment because I really needed to see him. Um, and the more I talked, the more I just felt like my throat was being stripped. Like I was, I felt like I was being restricted from saying what I wanted to say because the pain was really starting to take over. Long story short, I don't have any broken bones. I wasn't injured in my neck. My hands and my knees are very sore still. I just have to keep soaking, rubbing myself down. But it seemed like as the days went on, the pain started getting greater. My Regina says, oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. You had to deal with all that. I'm listening. Oh, thank you, babe. Um, I felt like if I could just get a real good cry out, maybe some of this would ease up. And cry, I did. I did a lot of crying and a lot of soaking. I say that to say that whenever I was able to move a little, I moved. And when it was time to stop moving, I stopped moving and rubbed myself down and aced myself up. And I was able to adjust my bed, but my bed only adjusts from the back. It doesn't adjust from the front. So it was hard. It was really, 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 really hard. Um, I'm feeling better now. My knees are not as sore, but I'm noticing that certain spots in my body are starting to develop sore spots. Like I could raise my hands over top of my head before all of this, but now I can't. Um, my concentration is there, but just as soon as you get a little relief from the pain and you're like, okay, well, I'll make a cup of tea or I'll do this or I'll do that. And no, you won't. You're going to go back and sit down because you can't do that yet. Then the phone calls started coming and I started getting more people. Thank you, my love. I started getting more people who were telling me that they were positive with COVID. And the people who were positive were people, a couple of them, that I had intended on meeting up with to help me out with a few things. And the plans were postponed for whatever reason. Um, and I'm glad that they were. The last time we spoke, I said that I was going to get my COVID test because I was in direct contact with people who were positive. And at that particular time, I didn't have much of a choice. Um, my caregiver was on the way, but I had needed a few things. And I was very careful. I was double masked, you know, but still in all, it was time for my treatment, my chemo. And they asked me, did I have any contact with anyone, direct contact with anyone who was positive? And I say yes. I wasn't going to lie about that because I would not have wanted someone to conceal that. And my immune system is very low. And for you to lie about having direct contact with someone just so you could get your medicine and could possibly jeopardize me and my medicine, I wouldn't want to do that to anyone. So I told the truth and they canceled my treatment. So I'm coming, guys. I'm coming. So through that I made sure that I let them know what my symptoms were. I had a few symptoms, but they weren't that bad. But one night it was so bad I was scared to death, like the fevers, the chills, the body aches. Um, the taste, the smell, the nausea. I'm only talking about these things because what I do here on my channel is I talk about my journey, not only my fight with ovarian cancer and my remission of breast cancer. There are other things that happen in life, and it doesn't just circle around those things. And I can't forget those things, but I also have to deal with life as it comes. So how do I handle that? You know, I can't put it on the back burner. So what I did was I just handled it as best I possibly could. I soak a lot. I had to take my medicine every 3 to 4 hours. The medicine wasn't strong enough. I had to double my medicine until this week coming because they had to make the medicine stronger. But again, thank God, I don't have broken bones. I just have very sore areas. I say that to say things are going to happen. You know, I'm not exempt from, hi, sister in my heart. How you doing, doll baby? Just trying to deal with things as they come and dealing with the feeling of, normally I would know what to do. Any other time I would have just said zip, 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 and that would have been that. Not just put on a band-aid, and I just kept on moving. It's a little harder. It's a little harder for me to bounce back this time. But it's not something where I can say I'm counting myself out. I still pick up the phone. I still talk to my people. I still vent. I have a few faves that I watch on YouTube. And then there are some days where I just don't watch YouTube at all. I just get into my spiritual motivation and or watch some streams from the different apps and stay positive. But I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to continue to bounce back from these things. But right now, I'm bouncing back. So I'm the type of person that, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to let you know what's happening. Hey, Boss Lady New Jersey. Thank you guys for thumbsing up the video. Thank you so much. Hey, C's, what's up, girl? All I want to do is let you guys know that I'm good. This is not one of those stories where I'm whining. I'm letting you know that although there are other things going on in life, I can still find some gratitude. And I am very grateful because that could have went a whole different way. It could have went a whole different way. And the weird part about it is when I still call my mom mommy. So I called my mom and I said, Mommy, you're not going to believe what happened. I said, I was on my way trying to catch my ride. And she said, and you fell. I said, yeah. How'd you know I fell? She said, I fell a couple of hours earlier. She said, where'd you fall? I said, I landed right on my knees, dead down on my knees, just a boom, just like that. She said, that's exactly what happened to me. I'm like, wow. So that caught me off guard, but we were able to talk and get each other through some things. But that's one thing I can say about my family. It's okay to have somebody that you cool with, that you vibe with, you have a lot of things in common and stuff like that. But there's nothing like having family that know you, family, inside and out. And she was telling me that she just had a feeling. And sometimes I get those feelings too, you know? I get those feelings like something's not quite right. I'm not going to bother with it, but I got a funny feeling about it. And I may even try to take my mind off of it so I don't think about it. But my God has a sense of humor. You know, he'll bring it back to my attention whether I want to think about it or not. But yeah. So my health is an issue. It's something that I need to stay mindful of, but I am not going to allow it to stop me to live. And I'm not going to be a fool and go out there and start doing jumping jacks and stuff like that. Yes, I am going to take it easier and I am down for a little bit, but I wanted to let you guys know that sometimes you'll see me here or there, and the content on my channel has not stopped, but it has almost stopped because what I'm doing right now is starting to become difficult. But I'm not going to stop until I absolutely have to. Uh, 86 the troll. I'm not going to stop until I absolutely have to. My message is no matter what happens in life, morning, noon, or night, start with God, go out through your day with God, and end your night with God. And whatever happens in between that, it'll be okay. So I'm watching all types of progress and congratulations, Boss Lady New Jersey, on your station head, your podcast. I'm watching different YouTubers hit plateaus and do different things with their channels and see the fruits of their labor. And I can only congratulate hard, determined work like that. I congratulate that. But some days, you know, I kind of feel like, well, what have you done? Have you done anything? You're not doing anything different. You're doing the same old stuff. But you know, I'm doing something way different than I did yesterday. And it's called today. I can't do today tomorrow. I can only do it today. So what I've done today, I'm proud of. I was able to thank God for getting up this morning. I was able to take care of myself. I was able to talk to my girl and air some things out. It's okay to have some questions. Hey, I may have an answer to. But the bottom line is there's more work for me to do, and I'm not quite sure what that is. But when I come here and I talk to y'all and you allow me to vent and say what's on my mind, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm able to wish you well. I'm able to feel that you wish me well. It's just those things right there is enough to keep a person going, just to know that another person, you don't have to you don't have to care completely, but just that you care enough. And I notice that you care. That means the world to me. It really does. It means the world to me. Whew. So I said I was going to come on, and my dear Chrystal was going to be okay. You had a fear of falling. You fell. Now what are you going to do? You're going to get back up. You're going to get back up. You're going to dust yourself off, and you're going to try it again. That's what you're going to do. You're going to let everybody know that you're all right. You're going to take the medicine like you're supposed to. You're going to move around when you can move around. I'll come hang out with you guys when I'm up to it. But most of the time, the medicine has kept me still, because I believe the way it feels to me is that there was the way I came down on my big toe, and the way I'm maneuvering my upper body. I think I used that a lot so that I wouldn't hit the ground. And when you're doing it, you don't feel it. But after everything is over with, you really feel it. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm happy I got a chance to come on for a few minutes. I love seeing friendly faces. Could someone please get this troll out of my chat? Um, okay. I apologize for that, Regina, because I meant to tell you about that. The people around me have C19. And actually, thank you, Regina. And actually, my caregiver, her husband is positive. So she couldn't come to see about me this weekend. So I wasn't able to go to the market and stuff like that. But the bit of good news I can take away from that is I tested negative. So what they're doing is they're lining me up for, excuse me, guys. They're lining me up for my treatment for next week. Um, I guess it's, how do you say it? I'm not afraid to leave my home. It's just that the precautions are astronomical now. And you never know who you come in contact with who may not even know that they're sick. So I have family members who can't work now because of C-19. Others that are so close to me, when I think about it and I hear them speak and I hear it in their voice, it actually hits me in my body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue what I've been doing. I'm going to stay in my quarantine. I only go out the door when I have to. I'm protected. I do a lot of things over the phone. But this one thing that I'm getting ready to talk about now is something that's going to piss me off, but I got to say it because I got to say it. As a cancer patient, temporarily, I say temporarily, um, you have a taste for certain things. Well, I had a taste for some barbecue spare ribs, and I was thinking about all these nice little places that they had barbecue spare ribs, and they didn't taste too bad. But in my opinion, Boston Market hasn't been hitting too good with me, in my opinion. Uh, so I didn't order Boston Market. I decided on Chili's. You know, the Chili's baby back ribs. I've had their baby back ribs before and they were delicious. And they also have like fried pickles and stuff like that. All the stuff I'm not supposed to have, but stuff that brings out my taste buds, you know, something that's out of the norm. So they didn't have it on Uber Eats. But I mean, I can walk outside of my apartment and stand in the street and I can see Chili's. But Uber Eats doesn't deliver here. So someone suggested that I try Grubhub or Grub something, somebody's Grub. And I knew one of them had a monthly fee. And I don't care for the monthly fee, not because I can't afford it. It's because I really don't order out like that. When I was married, I cooked a lot. When the family was in here, I cooked a lot. Um, Even when my boo come over, I cook. But I haven't been doing a lot of cooking because I haven't really been up to it. Along with, you know, the side effects of chemo, my body is just not allowing me to do what I want to do when I go in the kitchen. So I made up my mind, okay, I'm gonna put this app on my phone and I'm gonna order. So I did. But when I order out, I like to order a little bit more than I normally would so that I'll have something the next day. Let me get this comment. This variant is very contagious and there are many around me. They have caught it. Okay. When shopping, I wear my gloves again. I exercise at home and walk through the neighborhood with the mask, etc. And boss lady's back. Thank you, Gina. I appreciate all of this. And we do thank you for the thumbs up. We do. We thank you very much. So I ordered a baby back ribs. I ordered some sides to go with it. And I ordered the chicken. They told me that the food would be here in not that wasn't that long to wait. So I said, okay. Now I'm all set to eat these ribs, right? I call downstairs security and I say, I'm looking for a delivery from Chili's. I give them my apartment number and my floor number. They said, okay. They know they're not allowed to leave the food with us. So most likely they're going to bring it to you. And my instructions were to leave it at my door, which I was by my door to receive it. But I was still in my protective gear. Nothing happened. No one rang my bell. No one came to my door. So I called security. I said, did anyone come with a delivery for me? The lady says, oh, yes. They came and they took the food upstairs and they left. So I got a text. My text says they my text says that they took a picture of the food that they left in front of my door. That was not my door. So somebody got $49 worth of baby back ribs, 4 sides, and some chicken. Well, a blackout is in order, but my body is too sore. So I called Chili's. They said, oh, we don't have anything to do with that. Once the order goes out, it's under Grubhub or Grub something. You're going to have to call the 800 number. What? Okay. They took the money out of my bank account. They took a picture of somebody else's door with my food. And you're telling me that nobody can do anything about it. Okay. So what I did was I do what I usually do. I called my bank. I made sure that they got my money. I made sure I disputed it. And I made sure that I want my money returned to my bank account because I did not receive this food. Now, I said, I feel like walking across the street and acting a donkey is what I really wanted to do. Well, my body was hurting so bad, I couldn't do it. But I was going to do it anyway. So then, some kind of how the conversation came about a Lyft. So I said, okay, I'll call a Lyft and I'll have the Lyft take me over there and I'll let them know that it was a mistake that was made. Could I please have my food? No, I could not get my food because once it leaves, it is no longer in their hands. So I ordered my food again and I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait for it, but it's okay. My bank is already in the process of returning my money to me. So I'm going to get my food while I'm out. I get back home, and let me tell you, that was the nastiest hunk of tough rib that I have ever had in life. I would have rather sucked the bones. The sides were horrible. The chicken was horrible. Something that they did to my fully loaded mashed potatoes or something. That doesn't even sound like something I would order. And it had potato peels in it, and it had cheese on top of it, and it just looked like something that belonged in somebody's stomach. I couldn't do it. I couldn't eat it. I just could not eat it. It was horrible. So it cost me $14 to go over here, reorder my food, sit here, wait for it in pain, get back home, and it tastes like crap. So, what did I have for dinner, ladies and gentlemen? Oodles of freaking noodles. That's what I had. While I was eating my oodles of freaking noodles, I was deleting that app off my phone. But before I did, I gave them a really nice parting gift of how their service sucks. And you have the audacity to charge a monthly fee. And there's not even a way that a customer can get a hold of you and let you know that you've made a mistake. Then they had the nerve to insinuate some type of credit. Credit? I want nothing else to do with these people. One and done, especially when it comes to my food. No, you're not going to have an attitude and resend me any food. That's not going to happen. So that was $49 wasted. Wasted. And I was real. I was hangry. You ever been hangry? You ever been so hungry till you're angry? I was hangry. And I've had some real jacked up service before, but it was rectified to my satisfaction. This here, what I took away from this was, oh well, you really think I'm gonna let it go like that? I'm not. So my people was like, call me when you get back in the house. Don't just go out there and get your food and don't let us know that you're back inside. You're not back inside. I did that because I don't want anybody stressing, or concerned about me. But that was horrible. That was $50 I could have kept in my pocket because the oodles and noodles taste better. So yes, my happy ass was hangry. Somebody was gonna catch it. So I said, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna soak, and I'm gonna go to sleep. I was better off ordering from McDonald's. McDonald's will bring it to your door. I was better off ordering at McDonald's. So for me, Uber Eats is fine with me. I would never, ever sign up for a delivery with a monthly charge. Oh, well, the first month is free. Is that right? Not for me. See, I don't have a problem spending money for good service. I don't have a problem tipping for good service. So, dear Chrystal, what do you do in a situation like this? You just don't do that situation anymore. You don't get another chance. Like, I had ordered some food one night and they forgot my drink. But see, luckily, I keep a lot of things to drink in my house because I have to stay hydrated as a part of my regimen, and I just like to stay hydrated. The man came back 5 to 10 minutes later and said, "Oh, ma'am, I forgot to give you your lemonade." Now you know damn well I did not drink that lemonade. Uh-uh. You are not gonna put no special sauce in my lemonade. Mm-mm. And you mad because you gotta come all the way back with lemonade? Mm-mm. I was like, "Thank you very much." Went right over there and poured it right down the sink. Nope. So I think what I'm gonna start doing again is I'm just gonna have to find those days where, well, we used to laugh about saying this, but we used to always say, "I'm gonna get a hunk of meat." I think I'm just gonna get me a hunk of meat, cook it down real good, wrap it up and separate it, because I like to have all my sides and different stuff already here. And if I want to make something to eat, then I can go ahead and just have me a nice meal because I've already cooked the main course. But I'm not putting myself through that no more. I'm not putting myself through that at all. Oh, you say you never heard of hangry? Hell yeah, girl. Maybe you can fix the ribs and sides up by using seasonings and baking ribs more in the oven, etc. Yes. Yes, but you know what? Regina, for real, with the ribs and stuff like that, I haven't really found a really nice piece that I really like. And then they have the ribs that already have that sauce on it. And it's like, what are you covering up? Why is it got all this sauce on it? So I hardly ever buy those. And it's just that you would think that if times are tougher, you would be geared more towards people who are trying to feed their families and save money and pay bills. But what they're doing is they're trying to make more money on the wrong end instead of trying to be there for the consumer who will go home and make a meal and put it up. You're gearing more towards the fast foods, which are not good for you anyway. And it's a lot of fillers, it's a lot of preservatives. Just the thought of it. Genesis note, we're living in very different times now. There are a lot of medical workers and service across all industries today. It's unfortunate but true. It is. It is. So I started going through uh my little recipes. I have something in there, like maybe later on tonight, I may feel like eating some cherry cheesecake. And I have all the ingredients for that. And it's a quick cherry cheesecake. Um, I have my graham cracker crust already in the mold, and you just get some cream cheese, some sugar, pinch of salt, and some whipped cream, and you whip it until it's the consistency that you want. You spread it in there, and then you take your pie filling, which you can get at the dollar store most of the time. Uh, I use cherry. Sometimes I use apple, and I spice it up like I'm gonna make an apple pie, and I put it on top. And then, the plastic that you use to preserve the graham cracker, I take that off and I flatten out the foil around the edges, and then I tighten it back up and you put it in the freezer. So then the next day, when you want something light, you already know what it's going to taste like. You don't have to worry about nobody delivering it to you, and it's just the way you like it. Um, I'm just gonna have to start getting my water ices, my Luigi, and I forget the other one. The water ices that I get, my bags of ice. I wanted to let Angela know that I saw a recipe where a guy made some beef stew in the Instant Pot, and it looked so easy, and I want to try it. And I think that either that one, or he did a recipe with chicken and dumplings, and the recipe with beef stew, and it looked so good, so homemade. But see, a lot of times people like to cook with sherry and all that kind of stuff. I don't cook with that, so that's optional. But it just looked so good, and it was actually a healthier choice, because that's really what I'm about. You know what I mean? Sometimes I eat stuff that's not that great for me, but mainly I like my vegetables and my meats and stuff. So I'm just gonna have to go back to my crock pot, my Instapot. My mom has something called a clay pot, where she'll take a piece of meat and season it and put it in the clay pot. And by the time she's finished with it, it's like falling apart. Different things that I used to do back in the day that are really going to have to start coming in handy now, because I just don't trust a lot of things. I'm making sure that my vegetables and stuff are washed off. I'm making sure that my meat has the right date on it and things like that. I don't eat meat all the time, but I can't say that I don't eat it. But I want one of those clay pots. I really, really do. I also have an air fryer, but I definitely want to try. I need to go to the store tomorrow and get some more laundry detergent. And I think I'm just gonna size up a nice piece of beef, and they show you how to sear it, sear it. Hope I'm saying it right. You brown it rather. on both sides or whatever. And the way they did it was you sauteed your onions and your butter and all those different things. You seared it, and then you took they have like a little grill thing that you put in it, and you can wrap your vegetables individually, not individually wrapping the vegetables, but like the little baby potatoes in one thing, the carrots in one thing. So, I think the celery went in with the searing when you were sauteing it and things like that, and then the different seasonings. It looked it really good, and I want to try it. But I'm just gonna have to go on in there and start busting some pots because I was so disappointed with that food last night. I really was. I even saw where I had started marking down different recipes that I'd like to try. And I subscribe to some cooking channels where I watch them, and they do it slow enough where I can understand what they're doing. I don't care for I don't care for the taste of McDonald's apple pie, and I really am losing the taste for the tasty cake pies because they're so hollow inside. And the crust seems to be made a lot cheaper than it normally was. So they showed how to take an egg roll wrap and you flavor your fruit the way you want to flavor it, and you put it inside of the egg roll wrap, and you wrap it like you would a regular egg roll, and you seal it, and you have an apple pie or a cherry pie. And actually the proportion is great, and it's just so many different things I would like to try, and it's so much healthier, and you control what type of oil that you use. Let me see what you say, Regina. Chili is a good hearty meal too. Cook with lean beef or turkey. Girl, you ain't said nothing but a word because I had some New Year's chili. I was telling y'all, oh, I got my turkey breast. I got my greens. I got my black eyed peas. I got this. I got that. I ended up making a pot of chili, and it was so good. It was really, really good. So that's what I had New Year's chili. Leslie, hello. How are you? So, yes, chili does hit the spot, but nothing beats a pot of. Here we go again. You keep messing around with Chrystal, you're going to talk about food. Nothing beats a pot of chicken and dumplings. It's just like that good comfort food. And the guy was telling me that he didn't really care for the Cracker Barrel chicken and dumplings because that's where he got it from, the Cracker Barrel. And I think he went home and tweaked it a little. And even the way he made the dumplings were different. Also, the the ingredients, oh, okay, baby. Also the ingredients that you use for maybe like a chicken and dumplings, if you make they call it a slurry. It's like a cornstarch and water slurry where you thicken it up a little bit. And girl, you could put that bad boy right in one of those baking dishes and roll you out some pie crust and put it right on top and brush it with some butter and let it get nice and golden brown. And you got you a chicken pot pie, you got a beef pot pie, you got a turkey pot pie. Me, myself, I'm trying to gear myself towards doing things where I don't have to keep expecting other people to make my food taste the way I would want it to. Because I'm not saying I'll never order out again, but last night was too much for me. To make me want to get up out of my bed, that was way too much. And I think what really got to me the most, y'all, was the fact that somebody was sitting and enjoying my food and they knew that wasn't their food. They knew that wasn't their food. So I say these things to myself, well, Lord, maybe they were hungry. Maybe they were praying for something to eat. Or, well, Chrystal, at least you was able to replace it. That might have been somebody's last, you know, bit of money. So, you was able to help somebody. Bull crap. That ain't really how I was feeling. But I was trying to make myself feel that way. But that's not how I was feeling. I wanted to give that driver half a lip. I really did. And when I was standing in there waiting for my food, this little scraggly looking guy, I mean, I'm telling you, this guy looked like they wouldn't even let him in Cheers. No, Norm, so and so. Hey, how'd you get in here? Like that. And he's standing there waiting for somebody to hand him food, talking about, well, ma'am, I'm really sorry that happened to you. And you know that you can make a complaint and you can let them know. I said, sir, I totally understand what you're saying. That has nothing to do with how hungry I am right now. But I understand what you're saying. So I pretended to be interested in the information he was giving me. And so I wouldn't have to take it out on this guy. And all I really heard him say was, wah, 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 wah. Let me get out of her face before she smacked the shit out of me. Wah, 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 wah. Yeah, yeah. So it's time for me to go ahead, and I also use oven bags, according to how big the meat is. Just get me a little oven bag and just cook my little oven bag and put my meat in there and just go on with my day. You can get laundry and stuff done. You can get a little wiping down, a little mopping done, all that good stuff while your food's cooking. So I'm just gonna have to get back to making me something to eat. Um, that was very disheartening. I was really hangry. I really was. I kind of woo, I didn't like that feeling. And on top of that, you already hurting and you don't feel like doing nothing extra. I like fish. So one day I had went in ShopRite and I found some flounder. It was breaded flounder. And they're individually wrapped and they were over near the frozen fish where you would have the cod and the unbreaded flounder, the I don't know how you say it. I say sway. Some people say swai. Um, catfish, all those kinds of stuff. But the bag of flounder was like $11 and something, and it was quite a few pieces in there. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty good. Because if you order a fish sandwich, which is a whole nother story. If you order a fish sandwich, that's basically the type of fish that they're giving you. And you can dress it any way you want. So the way I make that particular fish is I spray it with a cooking spray and I put it in my air fryer and I flip it a couple times. And then I get maybe like a torpedo roll or something, and put it the way I want it and darn good fish sandwich. So it's like I'm just going to have to start back doing that. So mm, I was telling y'all about these fish sandwiches that I get. Mm, they call them po' boys. And normally it would come with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, all that good stuff. I don't eat that. I would say, could I have a flounder po' boy with just ketchup, pickles, and lettuce? The last couple of times that I have gotten a sandwich, it has been wrong. Wrong. I cannot stand mayonnaise. I biting into bread with mayonnaise and ugh. So I'm paying you for something I can't eat. And since we're so far away, I'm not going to get back out and go and take the sandwich to you. So what I decided to do was keep those bags of flounder on hand. So if I decide to make a fish sandwich, I can make it the way I want to. Gina said, I got a funny story of poorly prepared, bad food and service. I have to tell you about it one day. Not a problem, child. Me either. It's gross. I hear you, Leslie. Ugh. But see, my thing is when I finally started enjoying food again, I got particular. And I'm not the type of person that's going to hurt your feelings if you take your time out of your day to make me something to eat because I appreciate that. But if I ask you, please, no mayonnaise on my bread, no tomatoes, or no tartar sauce on my fish, I take cocktail sauce. And it's not like I'm being bougie. I want to eat this food. And if it's prepared where I can't eat it, what's the point? I'm just going around handing people money. You get a car, you get a car, you get a car. What? So that's where I'm at. Where I'm at is I'm just going to start going through things and I'm just going to start shopping like I'm going to cook. And then that's just what I'm going to do. I get more satisfaction. I get more satisfaction with my food. Um, I feel confident that I control what's around my food, how it's being cooked, and things like that. Now, what I know it seems like it should be very easy to do, but one thing I don't do very well is steam or cook crabs. I don't do very well with that. So I normally like to get my crabs or get them steamed someplace else. Every now, oh my goodness, I have got to write down this guy's. Sorry about that. I've got to write down his page. He made this recipe for the lightest, crispiest looking lemon pepper wings. Oh, I'm telling you, I'd have married him. I know I'd have married him. I know I'd have married him. So he's got like, I don't know whether it's just me, but lately when you go to get chicken wings, they cost a whole lot. I don't know why, but the price is high for wings. I'm really not a dark meat person, but the price is really high for wings. So he looks like he had got a really, really, really good. Hi, Miss Brown. How you doing? Looked like he got a really good batch of the wingettes that you get in the bag. They were nice and clean, and he had them on a little on a tray. So he cleaned them off. He patted them off. And what he did was he made his own seasoning. He made his own lemon pepper, and he even took, I think it was some parsley. He chopped it up real fine and put it in with the rest of his ingredients. And then he measured out the flour. So he shook them, and he said to make sure that you hit off the excess flour. He fried them, deep fried them. He even has a deep fryer like I have. Um, my granddaughter's mother got me a deep fryer. It's actually a self-cleaning deep fryer where you put your oil and stuff in it, and then once it cools off, you hit this button and all the oil drains down in the bottom in a container. So you could just take the container out that has the oil in it and then just wash out the other part. So they were saying, okay, so how are you going to be able to tell that they're done? And they made them nice and brown. Then he took and he put them in the oven for a few. And when he took them out the oven, he took some lemon wedges, put it on there. He took the parsley that he chopped up, for his little dipping sauce. And he even took a little bit of the lemon rind for like a little bit of lemon zest. And Lord have mercy, watching that man bite into that wing. Oh, it looks so good. I want to try it. I really do want to try it. But I need for it to be a day where my everything is on a chill. You know, I can't do it where like maybe I got a little headache, but I'm hungry anyway, or I don't have a headache, but my body's aching a little bit, but I still want to do this. I need to pick a day where things are settled really good. So that's where when you cook a nice size piece of meat and you divide it and you have it where your sides are already there or your sides are readily available. It's nothing to make sides. And then instead of having to make a piece of meat, to go with that, it'll already be done. But I'm telling you, those lemon pepper wings look so good. Oh my gosh. Let me catch up with you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, Boss Lady says she agreed too. Okay. Boss Lady say Happy New Year's. Miss Brown Hester, hello, my love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, back on your computer. Okay. Yeah, I'm just shooting the breeze. I'm sitting in here by myself, just going over my weekend, and it's not even Sunday yet. But I would like to revamp my nutrition. I'm going to do that. And there's nothing like a good homemade bowl of soup. Love a good homemade bowl of soup. Love it. So the weather is starting to do flip flops, and I thank God that I'm in a position where, I can get some food and I can hold on to it. And since, I mainly cook for myself, or like if my boo comes, but sometimes he likes to cook. He's a sweet man, but he loves garlic. I mean, he loves garlic. And I'm like, whew, sometimes garlic could be garlic, 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 garlic. But otherwise, I'm just trying to get my body back right. My weight is still steady from 249. I think I've been as heavy as 265 in my lifetime, and to 185. And it may go up or to 1 or 2 pounds every now and then, but I'm eating and I'm no longer stressing about that. I'm just going to eat to enjoy my food, and I'm not going to eat, you know, like a pig. I want to enjoy myself. Another thing I've been doing is I've been watching Nollywood movies. I've spoken about it before. I may have said it wrong before on one of my videos, and I apologize if I did. Excuse me, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. Regina said, OMG, I was just thinking of that. A good homemade bowl of soup. You can literally make soups out of many, many foods: potatoes, beans, vegetables, meats. You're right. You're absolutely right. And it is so good for you. So good for you. I love it. Like when if I bake a chicken or bake a turkey breast, and may have like a steak, a bone-in steak, and that marrow, the essence of that steak, that stock that you get from it is like gold, and you can really make some really good things with it. So yeah, I love my African movies, and there are some on Netflix as well. There's a channel called the Afro Channel. I don't know if everyone can get that channel on their cable. I don't even know if people still use cable anymore, but I do. And sometimes I'll just get something that just tastes really good, some really good comfort food, but not anything that's too unhealthy. And sit and just watch my Nollywood movies. I love the accents. I love the attire. They don't say they live in a house. Okay, Dow. They don't say they live in a house. Sometimes they'll say compound. And a lot of the African movies I watch has to do with like kings and queens and things like that. But there's usually a good moral to the story as you go along. But the only thing is just getting to it, because especially in those African movies, not all Africans, disclaimer, not all Africans, but in most of these movies that I'm watching, when you come from a village, you tend to live very, very poor, very modestly. You have to go and you have to go and you have to fetch your water from a watering hole, and they eat stuff called bush meat. And to me, bush meat is meat meat you find in the bushes. So that's for me. But then you have some African movies that are geared toward a different setting, where you have someone from the village that has come up and they went to school and they have a career and they're reaching back for their parents, and sharing their wealth. And some of them are really good love stories, and some of them have quite a bit of abuse in them. And I was really shocked. But once you watch one, you have to watch another one. It's like eating one potato chip. You have to watch another one. But this one particular movie that we were watching, this young lady is a princess, very spoiled. She kind of reminds me of Serena Williams, but her body build is thicker. She's kind of masculine. You can see that she's a female, but she's, a little rough. And all these different villages from people from all over, different princes and stuff was courting her, trying to ask for her hand in marriage, and she was just very mean and nasty and hostile to them, embarrassing the family by her behavior, and she just was not a nice person to be around. And her family became wealthy because of the invention of the speed dial, somewhat of international calling, I believe. So the family was really wealthy. The parents tend to be humble, but the children tend to be very snooty and arrogant and belittling to those who are assigned to help them, or, in lack of a better word, serve them. It's just something about watching Black people dog out Black people in subservient positions that really irritate me. But nobody could tame this girl. And they were saying, look, you're going to have to get married soon, bring some grandkids and stuff. Well, she said she would, but there was this one guy, I guess this one guy charmed her. But there was this one guy who saw her and fell in love with her at first sight. Although she was mean like she was, and huffing and puffing and boxing and all this kind of stuff, this other guy truly fell in love with her. And his mom was like, when are you going to get married and give me some grandkids? And he's like, I will, mom. I will, mom. So he fell in love with her. But there were a lot of prince that were trying to court her so the kingdoms could merge. Well, this one guy that finally got her attention, of course, he wasn't no good. He's going to offer to give her a kiss and puts a pill on his tongue, which mellows her out, which now she's partying and she's acting wild, and other people are trying to court her. She don't want nothing to do with them. Then when this guy comes back, he works his little magic. But the main goal was to have her put a signature on a piece of paper, her family and her brother and her mother, so they could turn their money over to them, because this guy was a crook. Out of all the decent people who were trying to take her hand, that's the one she fell for. That's the one she told her father that she was going to marry. But she ended up getting into a car accident. So when she got into the car accident, they didn't know whether she was going to make it, and she was in a coma. So this guy who was trying to swindle their family out of their fortune, he still wanted to marry her while she was in a coma. He already had a girlfriend and they were drugging her. So I guess the girlfriend had put too much inside of the drink, and she got out behind the wheel of a car and had a car accident. So now they're thinking, oh man, she had a car accident, you know, what if she dies, and then how we gonna get the money? And long story short, the young lady had an out of body experience because her friends were telling her, you're a very mean, nasty person. You treat people terribly. You're, in short, you're just a bitch. So the one person who was a really good person, and I think she had feelings for her brother, she was trying to tell her about herself. She ends up putting her out of her car in the middle of the ride at night. And soon after that, she ended up having a car accident. Um, some of the people, well, what they have is they have gatekeepers. They hire people to come and open the gate when they ride into the compound and shut the gate. So, of course, that's someone who's beneath them. So they talk to him and anybody who's beneath them like dogs. So when she had that out of body experience, nobody could see her walking around and talking but him. And this guy is trying his best to smoke his weed and drink his liquor. And every time I turn around, he see her crazy ass walking around talking about help me, help me. He's like, I see a ghost. This is what happens in the movies, trying to kill me. But the person one of the people that she dogged out, ended up being one of the people that helped save her life and her kingdom. So the guy who fell in love with her at first sight, he was actually the doctor. He was actually a doctor that worked on her when she was in a car accident. And guess what happened? They ended up getting married. So that movie turned out pretty good. What's this? Yeah, that is a shame. Gina said, I have watched from time to time same African movies. What if I find, wait a minute, I got it wrong, baby. What I find is the cultural differences and dynamics that can be interesting. Yes, yes, they are very interesting. And it's like Pringles, once you start, you can't stop, you know? And there are some cultural differences that are like, I would never put up with nothing like that. But then you have sons who have obligations to their mothers, daughters who have obligations to their fathers and families. You have some people who still believe in dowries. Benji! Benji, Benji, Benji. I find the African movies quite entertaining. I am now watching them over and over. I know. And honey, if you're talking about some drama, those movies are jam packed with drama, much drama. So those are the type of movies that you watch when it's not like a bunch of stuff happening around you. Like stop, put that down, go sit down. No, ask your brother, such and such. But nope, you need to be quiet. You need to be watching the screen, watching everything that's going on. Some of the fashions will be like, oh, I will wear that. I know I will wear that. Then another thing be like, oh, I would not wear that. Mm-mm. Girl, that don't even match. and you really you are captivated by the movie. And the only thing I can say is don't knock it till you tried it. Yeah, don't knock it till you tried it. I also like those type of movies where it's like the Japanese movies. There's a difference between Chinese movies and Japanese movies. Now, I like the Chinese movies with the Shaolin, where they do the karate and stuff. And usually the guys look like monks, they're bald, but they do all this different types of karate. And I like those. But there's also the Japanese movies where Happy New Year, love. Um, their hair has grown all the way down their back, and they have the most beautiful, free flowing clothes and the colors and the graphics and the Japanese blossom flowers that, as they fly through the air and they're looking in each other's eyes and you have no idea what they're saying, but the closed captions, you're looking at every word like, oh, so that's what he's saying to her. And they have like a lot of twists and plots, and you usually have a Judas somewhere, or you usually have someone that's maybe trying to infiltrate a kingdom or poison someone, or you know it's I saw one where they were like in the mountains and the sky was just like a ice blue with the contrast of the snow and the flowers. And I mean, it is just so peaceful to watch these movies. And it's like, I think what I want to do is I want to start writing down the names of some of these movies that are on Netflix. And I'm telling you, you're going to love them. You really are. You're going to love them. Let me see where I am. Oh, my deported hubby is turned me into, oh, he turned you on to the African movies. Oh, okay. So you know what's up. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too, baby. Hello, Jane. Hi, your pleasure. Your pleasure. I would like to thank you for dropping down in my comment sections and saying nice things to me and supporting my chat and all your love and support. I've always wanted to thank you personally, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity tonight to do that. I thank you very much. I also I like stand-up comedy. Sometimes I like stand-up comedy that's kind of raunchy, but for the most part, the funniest stand-up comedy to me, and I don't know whether anybody is going to agree, but I love Sinbad. Sinbad is so funny when he does afros and bell bottoms. I think it's another one's called Nothing But Funk. And then he has another one that's called Son of a Preacher Man. Um, I don't think this one is on Netflix. You may find it on YouTube, where he did a concert in Aruba and he had all these different artists and stuff in this concert at Aruba. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And his comedy is funny. It makes you think, you're busting out laughing, but before you know it, you've turned around and you see little kids in the audience with their parents. I'm like, oh, how cool is that? Regina says, I love all kinds of foreign movies. I love them so much. I watch television via closed caption and be reading with the volume low. Yes, I love reading. I love reading too. I do. I love reading. I don't like hectic. And anytime I get a chance to take a break from the hectic, I take it because I feel it all throughout my body. It's just so relaxing. It's like a verbal massage, you know? I like scary movies, but not as much as I used to. Not as much as I used to. I do like sitcoms. I like the older sitcoms as well because it just reminds me of, you know, my family when we were all younger and we all sat down and was just watching just regular TV. You know, nobody running around half naked. Who wants to constantly watch shows where people are called bitches and hoes all the time? It's ridiculous. Now, I'll watch cartoons in a minute. I love cartoons. You know, as my grandkids were growing up, you know, Nana was always good for cartoons. But now that they're older, you know, they don't watch much cartoons as they used to. But I still like to watch the cartoons that we used to watch because it's still funny. Anytime that I can give my mind a break, that's what I want to do. And that's the Dear Chrystal for Chrystal. I know there are a lot of things you want to do. There are a lot of places you want to go, and there are a lot of people that you want to help, but you can't go everywhere and you can't do everything and you can't help everyone. Your situation is a very serious situation. And in order for you to be around here longer, you're going to have to take it even easier than what you are. And I'm like, oh my gosh, then how much easier can I take it? Do I tie my limbs to strings, you know, so I'm a marionette? I can still take it even easier than what I'm doing. I really can. I don't believe in isolation, but I do believe in meditation. And I have to take quite a bit of medicine in order to fight what I'm fighting. And the support is not necessary, but it is so greatly appreciated. I find that saying it's not necessary isn't always true. But nowadays you can't even get a decent hug because you don't even know what you're getting into. So you have to find things outside of yourself in order to generate some peace. I love music. I love hearing the stories behind the music. Thank you, love. I love music. I love the stories behind the music. I like good documentaries. It's just so many facets to, hold on, guys. Yeah, I'm trying to eat these. They're called Bob's Sweet Stripes. It's a soft peppermint candy. I also like the kind where if you suck on them, they kind of melt like cotton candy. But I haven't been able to find those. This is the closest thing I can get to that. But there are a lot of interesting stories behind the music. And I think what really got me with the interesting stories behind the music was the Jackson 5. Yes, they're a multi-talented family. They made a lot of money. If you take the music from the Jackson 5 and erase it, the world would never be the same. But those children lost a lot of their childhood. And when you think about the person that you are and you think about your childhood, like to have to erase your childhood completely and become an instant entertainer, what a sacrifice. What a large sacrifice. Their music is iconic and it will always be iconic. So, but the story behind the Jackson 5 is kind of heartbreaking. Kind of heartbreaking. A lot of people don't like to know about how you got started. It's more or less like, did I just jump into this and I'm automatically talented and, you know, it's my family's birthright, so I automatically can sing. It's my family's birthright, so I can automatically play the instrument. No, not always that way. Even with Stevie Wonder, he had to go through a lot in order to become the man that he is. And I was very shocked with some of the twists and the turns that happened in his life. It just made me appreciate his music even more. Even, let me see, was another one. Gladys Knight had a heck of a life. And while she was going through a lot of the abuse that she was going through, disclaimer, in my opinion, she was still out there performing. Aretha Franklin, even down to, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but even with Minnie Riperton. Minnie Riperton died of breast cancer. And that woman had a voice that was just so angelic. You hear the first few notes of her song and you know something's coming. Yes, for the sake of this video, definitely allegedly. But Minnie Riperton did die of breast cancer. She also had what is her name? Rudolph. Gina, you know who I'm talking about. Not Wilma Rudolph. Her daughter, who was doing Saturday Night Live, who was in Bridesmaids. That was Minnie Riperton's daughter, and she had a son. Grew to have famous children. And Thelma Rudolph. Thank you, Gina. No, Maya. No, it's Maya. It's Maya. Maya Rudolph. That is her name. Maya Rudolph. and her mother was Minnie Rippleton. John Belushi, woof, he was a very funny guy, very funny guy. A lot of tragic things happening. Um, and my goodness, as successful and as funny and as iconic and rememberable as Robin Williams was, for things to end the way it ended for him shocked me to my core. It shocked me to my core. So it's the documentaries are very important. They also help with how our laws are now. You see some of the LGBTQIA community, and when they started off, the rights were not as prevalent as they are now. So a lot of people took a lot of hits for the team trying to make things equal to the point where now, you can have the same sex as a husband or a wife and adopt children and to go on with your life. But it started somewhere, even with civil rights. It wasn't always where we could sit where we want and eat where we want and love who we want. It started somewhere. So, do you think drugs allow them to perform? Uh, for some individuals, I do. Uh, for some individuals, I do. If you're asking me, what do I think? Um, Richard Pryor is another one. Richard Pryor is another one. So it's not always just it's not always just watching what they're doing on the surface. You know how they say things like behind the music or behind the man or behind the woman, or they'll say things like the last 24 hours of XYZ. Some of those stories are like really interesting. It's like, I had no idea. I had no idea it was like that. So the life I live is not fabulous. I'm not rich, but there are so many things that I have gained. And I never thought I would say that, but there are so many things that I have gained by not only being a cancer patient, but reaching out to a cancer patient and listening to someone try to describe how they're feeling, and the words just won't come out. And I may be feeling the exact same thing, but I would articulate it different. And they would say, yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. I've been trying to say that for the longest time. I just didn't know how to get it out. When you find someone who understands or who is willing to understand, it makes a world of difference. Miss Hester Brown, if you don't mind, ma'am, you're more than welcome to drop the information in my chat about the next cancer support meeting. Boss Lady, New Jersey, if you don't mind, you're more than welcome to drop the information in my chat about your baby, your station head, how, if people would like to join you, let them know what it is that they can do. It's awesome. I'm really proud of you. And as well as the cancer support group, I'm really proud of that. A lot of things are supported on YouTube that need absolutely no support. It really doesn't. It grows mold on its own. But these things that we're talking about growth. We're talking about doing something different and reaching different people for different reasons for one common goal, to enjoy ourselves, to relax, to have fun, and do what we love. Yeah, either way, it is sad, Benj. There are so many that came from abuse and damage that made it with their unique style and talents in entertainment. I believe they would, I believe they would not have if not for their struggles. Hmm. You are so right, Chrystal. Thank you. I love how cancer treatments have favorably evolved and that they use innovative medicine. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They use innovative medicine, and it takes a special person to be able to look at another person. And it doesn't have to be your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your son, your daughter, your niece or nephew. You just look at another human being and connect with another human being. And you actually took the time and money and went to school to study and figure out, how can I help them? What can I say? And what can I do to make their day a little easier? I was talking about the fresh fruits and groceries and stuff. Last time we were talking about the different places where you can go and get help with your food and stuff. Well, didn't I get a call this week and they said, Miss King, we would like to know if you're interested in having a grocery delivery next week. I said, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So next Tuesday, there will be a grocery delivery for me. And this might sound weird, but the lady said, I want to remind you that when we bring the groceries, we bring them in a police cruiser. I said, yes, I'm aware of that. And they said, well, we weren't we weren't warning people. And when I'm sorry, Lord, forgive me. But when the police cruiser showed up, they didn't come downstairs. I guess that's what the cops thought about. But that's how much groceries was in there. They needed the police department was escorting the groceries and helping you get them to your destination. So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm looking forward to it. Uh, they send beans and ground turkey and chicken and strawberries, onions, cabbage, broccoli, rice, wheat bread, wheat pancakes, uh, fruit, a lot of fruit. I just rice. I mean, I can't even name how many different things they have from all of the food groups, and it is just such a blessing. A lot of times when you try to buy things organically, They gouge you so bad for just trying to eat right. Doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, some people try to make more money on the wrong end. And really, you should be trying to help people eat healthy. Okay, here's the information for my girl, for Station Head. For Station Head. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something. You know that song, It Must Be the Music? It must be the music. Because I'm telling you, when she starts playing her music and she get the bob in her head and she has it where she can play the songs that she likes to play and she doesn't have to worry about nobody riding her back for it, y'all go and support her. Go and support her because Boss Lady New Jersey is always known for the jams. And I was watching her and she looked so comfortable and so happy in what she was doing. You guys take the time out and join her. Even if you want to try it just one time, I dare you to try it one time and don't go back. You're absolutely going to go back because it's awesome. I'm going to leave it up there for a minute, okay? All right. Ben said, Chrystal, I got my mammogram because of you. I went 3 years and you got on me. You doggone right. You doggone right I'm going to get on you. Love you though. Boss Lady, New Jersey. Could you do a refresher walkthrough on how to use and sign up for your podcast, please? Okay. And I'm going to go back to your podcast again, Boss Lady, but let me hit this right quick. Ms. Brown Hester channel. MZ as in zebra, Brown Hester channel. If you are a content creator and you have a channel and you would like to drop it into the live stream, you're more than welcome. This is the year of benevolence. This is the year of benevolence, despite what the news reporters say. That's right. Exactly. Okay, thanks, Chrystal King. The music don't stop. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it don't. All right, I'm going to jump back up here right quick. Yeah, I love her setup. And it's like you can feel the energy. You can feel the energy when someone is doing something that they love. You can feel the energy. So go on over there and check her out. I believe the next cancer support group meeting is going to be on Ms. Brown Hester's channel. We had settled on a little after 11. One of our supporters ran into some health issues and we needed to reschedule. But Miss Brown Hester will make sure that everything is plain so that when it comes down to the next support group that we have, if you're willing, it's good. We would totally appreciate it. Sometimes being a support to someone can be a little emotional. And I know it was for me because I had to tell my story. I believe everybody knew my story and was sick of hearing it. But when I went to tell my story again, I felt like I relived it all over again. And sometimes in order to build a person up, you have to tear down a few walls. You have to knock down a few things. And they built me back up after that. So, to the point where if I can and when I can, I will do my best to support. But there may be times where I won't be able to support, but I will be there in spirit. Yes. All right. Regina M., you can type in the link. Then when you get there, type in what name you want to go by. And then you're on. It's free. What is it? My name on Station Head is Boss Lady Radio NJ. I'll be there tonight. Okay. She's coming on tonight. This has been a really cool live. I got my little vent off. I didn't have to act too much like a donkey. I also let you guys know what I do to try to put myself back together, what my plans are about trying my best not to order out so much. And don't put it past looking up on YouTube for recipes. Try it. You will be surprised. You have people who do recipes all different types of ways. It's like I even saw a lady who said she made chicken and dumplings, but what the recipe that she used required a can of biscuits. And she used a pizza cutter and she cut the biscuits up with a pizza cutter. I put a couple biscuits in it and I didn't really care for it as much, but she swears her family loves it. I like kind of like the cakey dumplings in the middle. Um, the flat ones are pretty good. I grew up on the flat ones, but even they even have powerhouse recipes for macaroni and cheese. Oh my gosh. So I think that once I restock my spices and, start looking into different cuts of meat and things and put it away and start doing some stuff so I could just go out in the kitchen and get a healthy meal and I don't have to wonder, who I'm going to order from, how long it's going to take, and taking money out my pocket when I can just go grocery shop and make a budget and get the things that I need and have it there. Hold on for 1 minute. I see something. Regina said, okay, signed up and followed you. It also created a station for me. Ben said, the cancer support channels. Can you name them, please? And Boss Lady said this has been a relaxing live for her. That's cool. That's cool. That's all I ever really want to do is chill. Mm, it's station head just for music. Boss Lady said, no, you can talk in the chat. I can have a guest come on. You can request music and we can play. Okay, I lost my place. Just a second. You can request music and we can play any music artist you want to hear. Regina says YT has all kinds of cooking shows. I have a girlfriend that has copied everything cooking from YT and now is trying to get a catering business off the ground. Isn't that nice? That's decent. I'm new, Boss Lady said. I'm new and I'm still figuring it out. But I have the music coming through. Thank you, Regina. Oh, yeah, I like relaxing lives. I really don't care for all the stuff, but I'm not saying that I'm not here for it on some days. I'm just not here for it today. So right now, I'm just trying to heal. Best wishes and prosperity for her. Benj, I want you to, if you don't mind, sub to, because the questions that you're asking me, excuse me, you can find in a search engine, but I want you to subscribe to this channel right here as soon as I get it up. Okay? I'm gonna leave it up there for a few minutes. And I believe that this young lady, I believe that this young lady can help you with the questions that you have. What I've been doing on my channel is I've just been talking about my journey. I had not signed up to a support group, but I do have a lot of support through my doctors, my team, and my family. But if there's anything that you may like to ask, I know that, in my opinion, DCOP has a lot of information. And this young lady right here, I just happened to be scrolling and someone was talking about her doing an improv cancer support live. And I just happened to come on and tell my story that day. But I think this is something that's needed. There are probably people who do a lot of crazy things to take their mind off of having cancer, but please don't neglect the fact that you do have it, and it's something that we're working towards fighting. And this is one war that can be won either on this side or on the other side. We would rather be survivors on this side. That way, when our sisters or our brothers can reach out for help or understanding or just someone to listen, we've been through it and we understand and we can be there for them. But yeah, DCOP, I want you to feel better, okay, sweetie? I want you to feel better. Let me see, where are we now? Is station head just for music? These are good questions. No, Boss Lady said. You can talk in the chat. I'm not going to have a guest come on and request music. Yep, and they can play anything. Regina says YT has all kinds of cooking shows. Yeah, this is where she was talking about her girlfriend. Just trying to get catering off of the ground just by, looking at some of the YT cooking shows. Boss Lady said, I'm new and still figuring it out, but I have the music coming through. Now, if you want your own station, you have to get a premium through Spotify or Apple Music. If if not, just type in my link and come and interact. Hey, Deborah. How you doing, babe? I love them too. Low intensity lives. Yes, child. Seriously. Hello, boss lady of New Jersey. Happy New Year. Welcome to Crystal King's channel, excuse me. Please like, share, subscribe. Her Cash App is $Queen Crystal King, all lowercase. Email your show ideas to crystalheart22@gmail.com. I misunderstood. Then I thought you were asking us to sub to the creators over here to support their journey. Okay. Miss Hester is someone I met that day, and she was support to someone who had to get a lump checked out. And I believe that she lost a loved one. So if she's still in the chat, she's more than welcome to say what it is she's comfortable saying. I don't want to put her on the spot or any pressure. And I also don't want to give the impression that this was my idea. I came upon these ladies and Decop was reading her book. She has literature. She has stats. And her wife unfortunately passed from ovarian cancer. So she has a lot of knowledge in that area. I love all things natural healing. That's why I asked if it's music only. Yeah, I see why. I can understand that. Most definitely. Hold on, guys. I love people who are trendsetters. I love trendsetters. If it wasn't for trendsetters, a lot of things would remain the same, mundane, boring, and pretty much uneventful. But what I like about Boss Lady is that she is a trendsetter. And once she gets an idea in her head, what she'd like to try, she doesn't limit herself. She sets the bar very high for herself. And when it comes to the support, she makes sure that it is simplistic enough for someone to come along and enjoy the ride with her. But I'm telling you, this lady right here, she's a force to be reckoned with. Watch out. This is just the beginning. Wait until she really gets a hold of the reins. I'm just doing my best to get my my body back together. Get some of the soreness out. Come on here and chit chat with you guys for a while. And just do the best I can to maneuver myself through this journey called life. That's all. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Get on down. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Get on down. I love music myself. But I'll tell you, my favorite male artist of all time is Frankie Beverly. Frankie Beverly and Maze. And I'll tell you, if Frankie can't make it better, it ain't gonna get no better. There's always a song in his arsenal that will make you stop, take a deep breath, inhale, exhale, and it almost feels like you're standing right beside him, like he's singing right to you. And that's just my opinion. So, for all who were able to come and enjoy my live stream, I thank you so much. And pretty much everything that we talked about today, I feel, is necessary for personal change and personal growth and elevation. On my channel, we don't talk about how to pull each other down. We want to elevate each other. Regina said, thank you, everyone, for the likes. You are appreciated. Boss Lady said, thank you all for leaving your comments and opinions. Oh, Brenda said, you're welcome. Yeah, I've been on here for a good while. I did pretty good. So sometimes I'll just come on here and start talking just so I won't stay stuck. But I'm still pretty much on that back up a little bit because YouTube is really starting to get on my nerves a bit. But when I want peace and I want to just talk to my people and we kick back and we talk about doing different things, expecting different results, that's the opposite of insanity. So we don't want to do insane things over here. We want to do the opposite of insanity. Let's lift each other up. Let's let each other know that we're proud of each other. We don't hate on each other over here. We elevate each other over here. And I want you guys to know that you really did make my night. And I do have to take it down now. But this was really cool. Whew. Yep, this was pretty cool. I like the type of lives that when it's finished and you think about it and you remember the good conversation and that nobody was trying to bring nobody down and how everybody came together and we were talking about supporting Boss Lady and supporting Miss Hester and supporting Binge and anyone else who needs support. I don't know if you need support if you don't tell me. But this right here is enough support for me. I can hit my live button and I can let you guys know how I'm feeling. Good, bad, or indifferent. Deborah, you have a good night too, baby, okay? For some odd reason, you slide over here when it's time for me to get ready to go. But I'm looking out for you. I don't see you over here that much. But there are just certain names that you look for. I should be back on soon. I'm not sure when. But just make sure that you keep that notification bell on. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week and drive safe. Thank you, Brenda. And please use your mask if you have to use 2 masks. They even have that thing, it almost looks like plexiglass that goes around your ear. Um some are clear, some are colored. Um you can People had slowed up on using their gloves. I really hate using gloves, but I'm going to have to get back to doing that. And utilize your hand sanitizers. Uh, a little trick that we learned and actually got it from YouTube. You go to where in the store where they have like the sunburn things for for your skin and the sunscreen. And they have bottles of aloe vera. And you take 1/3, approximately 1/3 of the aloe vera out of the bottle. You can put it into another container. And then you fill the rest up with alcohol. It's according to how thin or how thick you would like for your hand sanitizer to be. And you can make your own hand sanitizer. They even have them in the hair store where you can buy jugs of alcohol in the hair stores. And you could use 2/3 to 1/3. More or less, I think it would be more aloe vera than it would the alcohol. But again, it goes by how thin or how thick you would like it. You can also take empty containers and fill them up and put them in your purse or in your pocket or stick it in your kid's book bag or something like that. You could use old pump bottles as you make your own. You could just have them around the house or something. And it comes in handy. It saves you money as well. Have a glorious night. You too, baby. Because I take care of my grandbabies. But it's hard to get on. Oh, well, you know what? I thank you for the time that you did spend with us. You're important to us. And please try and come back again whenever you have time. You're more than welcome. So you can also look on YouTube and they can show you how to make your facial coverings. I got in a lift one time, which was really cool. And my driver had put, it's like a shower curtain, but it was clear. And they had taped it all the way up around the back so that I was separated from them. And before I got in the car, they wiped the seat down and sprayed it and asked me to hold on for a second and then let me get back in. So there are some people who are taking this very seriously, and I'm glad of that. But unfortunately, there are those who are not taking it very seriously. I don't know what it's going to take for you to take it very seriously, but I suggest you look at these stats on how many people are leaving here on things that can be prevented. So, and if anybody has any little tips or something like that they'd like to share, we would love to hear from you. One more time, if there's anybody who wants to drop any information in chat, you want to drop your channel, something that you're doing, something that you would like to do, support, or anything, you're more than welcome here. My moderators most definitely have no problem with that. I just love it when you guys stop by. That's nice to go through those safety measures. I know that was some VIP stuff right there. So I know, because it's like, that's her job. She has to feed her family and stuff, but still, you know, you still got to take care of yourself. Okay, everybody. I want you guys to have a good evening. Stay safe and spread the word. Spread the word. It's a cool vibe over here. Thank you for the ones who have subscribed. For the ones who haven't even subscribed yet, I look forward to seeing you. And with that, love, peace, and chicken grease. Deuces.